Why is it so easy to win awards, yet so hard to win trust? Why do people often remember how we made them feel more than what we accomplished? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are exploring a profound and uncomfortable truth. In many ways, being a good person is far more difficult than being an accomplished one. In a world that praises productivity, intelligence, and ambition, we often overlook the deeper work, the emotional labor, the ethical choices, the invisible integrity that defines true character. This video is about unpacking what it really means to live with goodness, not politeness, not performance, but genuine, consistent moral courage. Let's begin with a confession many people are afraid to say out loud. Success is addictive. It comes with rewards, applause, status, opportunities. It is measurable. You can chart your progress with numbers, accolades, and milestones. But being a good person, that's much harder to quantify. It's not always seen. It's not always rewarded. Sometimes, it's even punished. Imagine you're in a corporate meeting. A colleague takes credit for your work. You know speaking up could cost tension, maybe even put your job at risk. What do? Do you remain silent for the sake of peace? Or do you speak your truth and risk the consequences? These are the kinds of ethical crossroads that define who we are, not just who we appear to be. Being a good person means choosing what is right over what is easy. It means telling the truth when a lie would be more convenient. It means helping someone when there's nothing in it for you. It means owning your mistakes, even when no one saw them happen. And all of this, while noble, is not always rewarded in the moment. It's quiet work, lonely work, soul-deep work. You can climb the ladder of success and still step on others to do it. You can win awards and still lose your kindness. You can be admired and still be empty. That's why we must ask not just, what am I building, but also, who am I becoming? There's a story of a man named Raymond who was known as a genius in his field. He built a tech company from the ground up, revolutionized digital infrastructure, and became a millionaire before 40. But those who worked with him said he was harsh, dismissive, and difficult. He had few real friendships. His family felt distant. His employees feared him. At his funeral, many people praised his achievements, but few spoke of his heart. Compare that to someone like Grace, a school janitor who worked at the same high school for 30 years. She never published papers or built empires, but every student knew her name. She listened. She remembered birthdays. She slipped notes of encouragement into lockers. She hugged those who were struggling. At her retirement party, the gym overflowed. Hundreds came, not because she was powerful, but because she was good. The world often measures success by visibility. But goodness is felt. It is remembered not in headlines, but in hearts. And this leads us to the reality that being a good person requires emotional stamina. It means showing up when you're tired, forgiving when you're still hurting, choosing empathy when judgment feels easier. It's not weakness, it's resilience. Because anyone can chase goals, but staying kind in a cruel world, that takes strength. Being a good person also requires self-awareness. You can't offer what you haven't cultivated. If you haven't faced your own anger, your own fears, your own biases, they will seep into your actions, often unconsciously. Integrity begins within. Ask yourself, do I treat the janitor the same as I treat the CEO? Do I listen to people when they have nothing to offer me? Do I do the right thing when no one is watching? These are the mirrors of character. And here's another truth: being a good person often means being misunderstood. You may walk away from gossip and be called arrogant. You may refuse to lie and be called difficult. You may stand up for someone and be labeled dramatic. But goodness isn't about reputation, it's about alignment. Living in integrity means being at peace with your reflection. It means being able to sleep at night, knowing you didn't betray your values. This kind of peace is priceless. Let's also talk about courage, because goodness, real goodness, demands it. It's easy to be good when everyone agrees with you. It's easy to be kind when life is going well. But when you're criticized, rejected, or exhausted, can you still choose compassion? Can you still choose truth? Can you still be fair? That's the test. And it's one you take daily. In how you drive, how you shop, how you speak, how you vote, how you treat strangers. Because goodness isn't reserved for grand gestures. It's revealed in small, consistent choices. The mother who wakes up early to pack lunch for her kids even when she's exhausted. The friend who tells you the hard truth, not to hurt you, but to help you grow. The employee who admits a mistake instead of blaming someone else. These moments are sacred. They shape your soul. They shape your legacy. And while the world may not always notice, your conscience will. And that is what matters most. Because at the end of the day, you have to live with yourself. Not with your resume. Not with your followers. But with your choices. With your character. With your quiet. And if you've ever met someone truly good, you know how rare and beautiful it is. They make you feel seen, safe, respected, loved. They change the atmosphere around them, not with volume, but with presence. Be that person. Even if no one claps, even if no one thanks you, even if no one ever knows. Because goodness is not about recognition, it's about revolution. It's the revolution of choosing humanity over ego, presence over pretense, service over selfishness. And in a world that desperately needs healing, your goodness is not just noble, it's necessary. One of the most humbling realizations in the journey of becoming a good person is that there's no final destination. You don't graduate from goodness. There's no certificate or degree that proves you've arrived. Every day presents a new opportunity and a new challenge to choose the kind of person you wish to be. It's not about being flawless. In fact, perfectionism often gets in the way of true integrity. Because being a good person isn't about never making mistakes. It's about what you do when you make them. Do you own up to them? Do you seek to repair the harm caused? Do you grow from the lesson? That's what sets goodness apart from performance. True character reveals itself in how you treat people when you have nothing to gain, how you act when no one's watching, how you speak to those you don't need, how you respond when life disappoints you, when your patience is tested, when your ego is bruised, when you're tempted to retaliate, but choose to understand instead. And make no mistake, being a good person is not synonymous with being a doormat. Goodness doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It doesn't mean tolerating abuse or sacrificing your boundaries. In fact, one of the most loving things you can do for yourself and for others is to say no when necessary. Goodness means honesty, not avoidance. Clarity, not people-pleasing. Courage, not compliance. It's being willing to have the hard conversation. Being willing to walk away from what feels good but isn't right. Being willing to disappoint others rather than betray yourself. And that takes strength. Deep, soul-rooted strength. The world doesn't always celebrate this kind of strength. The world often mistakes loudness for leadership, aggression for authority, fame for virtue. But true goodness is often quiet. It doesn't shout, it shines. You'll find it in the teacher who stays after class to help a struggling student, the nurse who holds a patient's hand when they're scared, the father who shows up every single day, not with gifts, but with presence, the friend who tells you what you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. These people are heroes in their own right, not because they've conquered nations or built empires, but because they've chosen, again and again, to live with heart. And here's something else the world may not tell you. being a good person can sometimes feel like a thankless job. You may give your best, and people may still criticize. You may act with honesty, and others may still doubt your intentions. You may forgive, and still be hurt. You may uplift others, and they may forget your name. But the goal isn't to be thanked. The goal is to be true. To act from love, not ego. To plant seeds, even if you never see the trees. To be the light in the room, not because you want attention, but because the room needs light. And in time, the energy you give will return to you, not always in the way you expect, but often in the way you need. Because goodness attracts goodness. It may take time, it may feel invisible, but the soul recognizes truth, and the universe has a way of honoring it. Now let's talk about self-kindness. Because you cannot be good to others while being cruel to yourself. Many people think being a good person means putting everyone else first, all the time. But that's not goodness, that's depletion. Self-sacrifice is noble when it's a choice, but when it becomes a pattern rooted in unworthiness, it becomes toxic. Being good includes being good to yourself, listening to your body, honoring your emotions, protecting your peace, saying, "I matter too," because when you nourish yourself, you overflow, and from that overflow, you can give freely without resentment, without martyrdom, without burnout. You become a source of steady, grounded love. You inspire others to do the same. Your presence becomes healing, not because you save others, but because you reflect what's possible. And this is what the world needs, not more saviors, but more examples. Examples of kindness with boundaries, compassion with clarity, truth with tenderness, love with wisdom. If you've ever felt discouraged because your goodness went unnoticed, let this be your reminder: the right people feel it, the right people remember it. And even if they don't, you remember it. You feel the alignment. You carry the peace. And peace, more than anything, is the reward. The peace of knowing you didn't betray your values. The peace of knowing you lived with integrity. The peace of knowing that you chose love even when it wasn't easy. That's what stays with you. Long after the applause fades. Long after the crowds disperse. Long after the roles shift. Because at the end of your life, the question won't be, how many followers did I have? Or how much did I achieve? It will be, did I love well? Did I live honestly? Did I lift others? Did I honor my soul? So be the kind of person you'd admire. Be the kind of person your younger self would look up to. Be the kind of person who leaves a room better than you found it. Not because you had to, but because you could. Thank you for watching this video. If it touched something in you, please share your experience in the comments. Let's create a space where goodness is recognized not as perfection, but as presence. And if this message resonated, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might be walking the hard path of goodness today. Remind them they're not walking it alone.